For over 20 years, players have been searching for new ways to experience World of Warcraft. Some speedrun, some play Iron Man, some take on the hardcore challenge, where a single death means starting over. I've tried many of them, but none of them gave me what I was really looking for. So I created my own challenge. A challenge where every character matters, where every profession has a purpose, where every item has a history, and where a single mistake can change the future of an entire world. Welcome to VAGHU'S Legacy Craft Challenge. Before I ever touched World of Warcraft, I was already completely absorbed in its universe. My siblings and I used to sit in front of our parents' PC, playing Warcraft 3 for hours. We didn't care about time, we didn't care about anything else, we were just completely lost in it. The campaigns, the characters, the music, it all felt larger than life. Those were some of the best gaming memories I have. Just us, taking turns, talking about what was happening and having the time of our lives. The first time I played World of Warcraft was on the account of a friend's dad back in 5th grade. I was playing a troll hunter from level 1 to 3, not even finishing the Valley of Trials, with absolutely no idea what I was doing, but I was immediately hooked. The atmosphere, the world, the sense of scale, it completely pulled me in. When I first truly started playing, it felt like stepping into a living world. The red dust of Durotar stretched endlessly under a burning sky, drums echoing faintly in the distance as I wandered without direction. Every creature felt dangerous, every cave felt like something I wasn't supposed to survive. I remember stopping just to look around, watching other players run past me, wondering where they were going and what they had already discovered. Even the smallest things felt magical. Looting my first bow upgrade, learning how to tame a pet, hearing the music shift as I crossed into a new area. It wasn't just a game, it felt like a place I could get lost in. There was always something just out of reach. Something waiting beyond the next hill, and I wanted to see all of it. That world didn't just stay on the screen for me. After I started playing, I wanted to know everything about it. I began reading whatever I could find. Books, quest texts, anything that gave me more insight into the lore. It wasn't just background information. It felt like a real history. A living world with stories everywhere you looked. I got completely hooked on it, and it deepened my connection to the game in a way I hadn't experienced with anything else. But after all these years, that feeling slowly started to fade. I still loved World of Warcraft, and I always found myself coming back, but something had changed. I already knew the zones, knew the quests, I knew the professions, the leveling routes, the best gear, and the optimal way to play. Even hardcore, a game mode built around risk and meaningful decisions, eventually became something people could optimize. I was not looking for a more difficult challenge anymore. I was looking for a reason to care again. I wanted every profession to matter. I wanted every crafted item to have a story behind it. I wanted every decision to carry real consequences. And most importantly, I wanted every character to have a purpose beyond simply reaching level 60. Because in most challenges, when a character dies, their story ends. I wanted to create something different. A challenge where every character could leave behind a legacy that would continue to shape the world long after they were gone. That single idea became the foundation of everything you are about to see. So I started asking myself a simple question. What if my characters weren't meant to survive on their own? What if they became part of something much bigger? Instead of creating one hardcore character after another, each living and dying in isolation, I wanted to build a world where every character had a purpose beyond their own journey. A world where they relied on each other, where every profession existed for a reason, where every piece of equipment wasn't just another item, but the result of someone else's adventure. I wanted my characters to work together instead of simply progressing alongside one another. If one of them learned tailoring, every future character could begin their journey with larger bags and equipment crafted by someone who came before them. If another mastered blacksmithing, weapons and armor wouldn't come from random drops anymore, but from the effort and dedication of another member of the legacy. Herbs gathered by one character would become potions crafted by another. Ore mined on one journey would eventually become the weapon that saved a different character hours, days, or even weeks later. Every profession suddenly became part of something bigger than itself. The more I thought about it, the more everything started falling into place. Every resource had value, every profession had a purpose, every hour invested into one character became an investment into the future of them all. Success was no longer measured by the level of a single character, but by the strength of the entire legacy. For the first time in years, I wasn't planning the fastest route to level 60 anymore. I was planning an entire ecosystem, a living world where every decision could influence every adventure that followed. And with that idea, World of Warcraft started feeling meaningful to me again. Are you tired of playing World of Warcraft only to realize that none of it really matters? Do your bags always seem too small? Do your characters keep dying without leaving anything behind? Have you been diagnosed with generic World of Warcraft syndrome? Good news! This video is proudly sponsored by me, because apparently no company was crazy enough to support this idea. If you'd like to join the journey, you can find me live on Twitch every Monday and Wednesday at 5 PM Central European Summertime, where we are building this legacy one adventure at a time. On Instagram, I'm documenting VAGHU'S Legacy Craft challenge every single day, and I'm also building a Pokemon entirely out of bricks. One new piece for every new follower. And now, here on YouTube, you'll find both the daily shorts and, from now on, the complete story and long form videos like this one. So, if you enjoy this kind of content and don't want to miss the next chapter of the legacy, consider subscribing. It really helps more than you might think. Side effects may include emotional attachment to pixels, excessive farming, celebrating linen cloth drops, and an irrational fear of Defias pillagers. Now, let's build a legacy! Every great adventure begins with assembling a party. Before this challenge could begin, I first had to build the legacy itself. 8 characters and their professions. One shared purpose. Every member of the legacy has a unique role to play, and every one of them will shape the journey in a different way. The priest is the foundation of the legacy. As our tailor and enchanter, the priest crafts bags, robes, wands, and enchantments that every future character will eventually rely on. Every adventure starts a little easier because someone came before them. The paladin becomes our blacksmith. By mining Azeroth's resources and forging weapons and armor, the paladin equips the legacy for the challenges that lie ahead. The warrior takes over engineering. With additional ore from mining, the warrior builds bombs, target dummies, and gadgets that could one day make the difference between life and death. The hunter is our leather worker. Every beast defeated becomes another opportunity to craft leather armor for the characters that follow. The rogue becomes one of 3 gatherers. Through skinning and herbalism, the rogue quietly collects the resources that keep the legacy growing, supplying leather for the hunter and herbs for the mage. The druid shares that responsibility, also mastering skinning and herbalism. The druid ensures that the legacy never runs out of the natural resources it depends on as the journey becomes more dangerous. The mage is our alchemist, using the herbs gathered by the rogue and the druid. The mage brews potions and elixirs that could one day save another character's life. Finally, the warlock completes the resource network. Through mining and skinning, the warlock gathers additional ore and leather, supporting both the blacksmith, the engineer, and the leather worker as the legacy continues to grow. Alone, there are just 8 hardcore characters. Together, they become one living legacy. Building the legacy was only the first step. Ideas alone don't create meaningful challenges. They need rules. These are the rules that define VAGHU'S Legacy Craft Challenge, and every character will have to follow them from the very beginning. Rule 1. One life. First of all, this is still World of Warcraft hardcore. Every character only has one life. If a character dies, their journey ends immediately. There are no second chances, no revives, and no starting over with the same character. Once they're gone forever. Rule 2. Fixed professions. Every character is permanently assigned to their professions. Those professions can never be changed and define the character's role within the legacy from the very beginning. If the blacksmith dies, there will never be another one. If the alchemist falls, no one else can take their place. Every profession dies with the character who learned it. Rule 3. Shared legacy. Although every character has their own journey, they all share one common bank. Materials, crafted equipment, and gold can be passed between every living member of the legacy via mailbox. Nothing belongs to a single character anymore. Every resource becomes an investment in the future. Rule 4. Self-crafted only. Equipment follows one simple rule. If I want to use it, the legacy has to craft it. Every piece of gear, every potion, and every piece of food must be crafted by one of my own characters. Buying equipment or consumables from other players or the auction house is not allowed. Likewise, gear and consumables dropped by enemies may not be used. The only exceptions are profession tools and vendor items that are required to practice a profession but cannot be crafted, such as a skinning knife, mining pick, blacksmith hammer, or weak flux. Apart from those necessities, if the legacy can't create it, it can't use it. The strength of this world has to come from within. Rule 5. Earn your progress. Finally, every profession only becomes active once it has actually been learned in-game. Until then, the rest of the legacy has to survive without it. Progress isn't unlocked from the start. It has to be earned, one character at a time. These rules transform 8 individual hardcore characters into one connected world. Every profession matters. Every resource matters. Every decision matters. The legacy has been assembled. The idea has become a challenge. The rules have been written. Now it's time to begin. Over the coming months, every character will write their own chapter. Every profession will leave its mark. Every crafted item will carry the memory of the character who made it. Some will become heroes. Some will fall long before their journey is over. But even in death, their legacy will live on through the characters they helped along the way. This challenge isn't about reaching level 60 as quickly as possible. It's about building something that feels alive. A world where every decision matters, where every profession has a purpose, where every victory is shared, and where every loss is felt by the entire legacy. Every profession writes a different chapter. Every character leaves behind a different story, but together they weave one legacy. There's only one question left. Is it possible to beat WoW Hardcore with these rules?